We need to be able to better report, demonstrate and show the beneficiaries, the donor community, to everybody that our interventions are bringing results.
The overall performance study is an exercise carried out every 4 years to assess the extent to which the GEF is achieving its objectives.
The new GEF focus on results-based management is explained, and delegates are afforded a valuable look into how GEF portfolio evaluations are done.
We have definitely to determine and to be able to show how successful our projects are.
We have to get people to understand that there's a linkage between the log frame, between monitoring and evaluation, between risk management and how you report that back, and start to really understand the importance and the impact of good indicators, of good monitoring, of risk management. It makes the project and it makes project management a dynamic process.
I've been allocated a few minutes to briefly introduce the tracker tool
and demonstrate and prove to the world that the work that we're doing, that each one of us in this room is working on, makes a difference.
I've tried to make sure that when people fill out the core focal indicators in the World Bank, that these are harmonized with the GEF tracking tools.
During break, participants have the chance to examine some of the learning tools developed thus far.
Even kids can do this.
And politicians have even done it too.
Yes,
so we're hoping to take the minister out.
What do I want to see when we leave this conference? That we as a portfolio, as a cohort of projects and people working on the improvement of international waters, that we are clearly behind the strategy which now is being finalized and hopefully approved by the replenishment, that the challenges of the next cycle are being addressed in a coherent way.
Information needs and learning has become an integral part of the IW portfolio.
Is it an information exchange? Is it a matter of undertaking motivation and inspiration?
One thing we really want to achieve with these things is beneficiaries of the exchange to include the rest of the portfolio and not just the participants in the exchange. So think in those terms too, how your participation, what you produce, what the outputs from those exchanges, how they can benefit everyone else as well.
Further insights emerge from project management workshops on private sector involvement, sustainability after project completion, transboundary diagnostic analysis, and project indicators.
One of the things that personally fascinates me is the sort of the communication between scientists and decision makers. And I see a lot of scientists, I see a lot of decision makers, I see a lot of communication, which is not the usual way of doing things. So I think very worthwhile for me, because that's where I see my niche, is sort of facilitating communication between scientists and decision makers.
Mr. Dr. Andy Hudson. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And welcome to another exciting, fun-filled edition of Who Wants to Be a Results-Based Project Manager, Australia's #1 game show. We have a distinguished panel of guests tonight who are going to compete for the top prize, which is up to $5,000 in financing for a results-based staff exchange for their project with another partner project. So, let me quickly introduce the panel. David Vousden, Peter Sharon, Chaminda Rajapakse, Alexander Bogunovic. Let's get right to the game. Which African lake, through its first GEF intervention, succeeded in delivering a TDA, a ministerial adopted SAP, in an agreed and now enforced legal framework?
A, Lake Tanganyika.
That is correct. That is correct.
I think it has to be D is my answer.
And the answer is? That is correct. $50 for the Okavango project.
Let's say A.
The answer is? Yes, the process outcome. Thank you, Peter.
I'll go for C.
Okay, and the correct answer is? Oh, David David is selecting B, a decrease in ocean carbonate ion concentrations. The answer is yes, that is correct.
It was especially interesting when we have to learn how other GEF projects are doing, and interesting to know, especially when they are thinking about changing some of the procedures, especially with the TDA. And I think it's also the time when they have to incorporate the issues of IWRM. So it's nice to come here and learn the way forward of the GEF projects.
I'm glad to be here because I'm learn a lot from the other project, and I'm confident to use these lessons learned to do project in the future in my project.
From Salvador to Cape Town and now here in Cairns, I've seen a real improvement in progression in terms of how do we look at the portfolio, where are we going, and a sense that we're really building momentum, particularly on large marine ecosystems management projects, which I think are going really well right now, and we have a wealth of experiences that are coming to bear.
The most useful thing of the conference is to share information, learn from each other. Yeah, I think this is the most important feature of the conference.